everybody, how's it going? I am going to be recommending what I believe to be are the best masculine fragrances to blind buy as gifts for other people. And of course, you can gift these yourself, but you can find all these fragrances at your local perfume shop or your local mall in general. They're all going to be standard designer scents. But as always, I'll put all the discount site links that I can find in the description in case you don't want to pay full retail price. So the first one I'm going to recommend is Chanel Allure Edition Blanche. And this fragrance is really just, it's so addicting. When I wore this, it smelled like lemon, right? It smelled like lemon and it was really fresh and bright and I was like, whoa. But when I let it sit throughout the day, I could not stop bringing my wrist to my nose. And I just kept smelling it to a point where I actually sprayed more on my clothes. Actually, you know what? Let me spray this on my wrist right now because I really do like this scent. It was just so lovely. And I believe there's actually some vetiver in the base. I might be mistaken about that. But to me, vetiver is a note that I find sexy and addicting. So no wonder my nose kept coming back for this fragrance. But oh man, it's so good, especially if you live in warm weather. Now, when you gift this to somebody and they open it and they see that it's a Chanel for the most part, they're gonna be like, oh, whoa, this is like a good fragrance, right? Because the people you're gifting these to, they're not in the fragrance community. They're just your typical people that, don't watch these kind of videos. So when they see a designer name, they're like, oh man, like this is a big deal, this is a level up. And Chanel Blanche is a great one to start with. Amazing, amazing fragrance. Next is what I call the Prince of Versatility, and I don't have a full-size bottle of it, but it's YEDP by YSL. Now that is a sage fragrance. It has a little bit of that green touch to it, but it still smells like a very likable type of cologne. And I really, really recommend that for anybody that wants a fragrance that will fit any situation. Literally wear it to work, wear it to school, wear it on a date, wear it when you're at the grocery store, and you're gonna feel great. Like wear it when you're doing business and stuff like that, because I use that example with my individual review of YEDP. The person I put that on, he wears that when he's out doing business and everybody loves it on him. Now with the longevity on YEDP, it's around 6 hours. And yes, I specifically recommend the EDP. I haven't tried the Le Parfum I have tried the EDT, but the performance on the EDT was about 4 hours and, just bump that up a little bit. Get 6 hours out of that fragrance. But nonetheless, a huge compliment getter. All of the fragrances I'm going to show you are massive with compliments. So you know that when you gift these to people, they themselves will like the smell, but other people around them are going to like it as well, which in turn makes them be like, oh man, I love my fragrance. Kind of they feel a little bit more confident with it. The next one I will recommend is Prada L'Homme EDT. Haven't tried any of the other flankers of this fragrance, but it's like a luxurious fabric softener, a very soapy, clean type of fragrance. And yes, people always say, oh, it's an office type of scent. But you know what? Even if you wear this on a date, you will still pull. This thing just does something to the feminine nose where it just is super addicting and you'll get kind of dreamlike reactions. This is one of the only fragrances on my the only fragrance on my designer side, the standard designer side, where somebody followed my scent trail to ask me what I was wearing and they complimented me because I smelled so good. They were like, you smell amazing. What is that? They caught up to me just to tell me that. And this scent, I know some people might think it goes a little bit feminine, and yes, I do find it to be more in the unisex territory, but trust me, this is a very sexy, professional type of scent. And what makes it somewhat feminine to people is that it has an iris note, but believe me, this thing gets compliments like no other when it comes to women. So Prada L'Homme EDT, remember that one. Another one I'm going to recommend is actually going to be a date night sort of fragrance, and it's called Dolce & Gabbana The One EDP. That scent I actually gave to my cousin that is a freshman in college right now, And every time I meet up with him, he's like, oh my God, my cologne smells so good. I love it so much. All these girls love it on me every single time I hug them and every single time I'm around them. He's like, this shit has pulled me so many dates, and he just gets really, really happy about it. But the One EDP is this grapefruit ambery sort of fragrance. So it's not fresh and light like the other ones that I've mentioned. It's a little bit heavier, but the performance is still not there. And I know typically when things don't perform well, I always say to overspray it. But whenever I try to overspray the One EDP, it just gets too much for me and I don't really like it. So just anticipate that fragrance is something that's just gonna stay close to their scent bubble, close to their skin. So just recommend them to wear it on dates or, intimate nights, cuddles, things like that, because it's an amazing scent. It really is just great. All right, another one. I think this is the 5th one. L'Homme by YSL. A masterpiece, a classic. Years from now, people are still gonna be like, oh yeah, L'Homme is an amazing fragrance. You're gonna see people that are in their 70s wearing it, people in their 20s wearing it, and all of them are just gonna be like, yeah, this is a great scent. This is a fresh ginger type of fragrance. And you know what? It's also soft and seductive at the same time. Usually when you have a fresh and clean fragrance, yes, they're gonna pull compliments, but it's hard for it to also kind of be seductive, but this one does it perfectly. If you're somebody that doesn't want to recommend a blue fragrance like Bleu de Chanel or Dior Sauvage, you want it to still be mass appealing, but to have a more, just a more classy sort of smell, a more sophisticated sort of smell, please try L'Homme by YSL. This thing is amazing. It's super cuddly, and at the same time, it's a confident fragrance. You know what I mean? It's like the person that when you're at a party, like they're not going up and talking to everybody, but whenever like you go up and talk to them, you have a really good in-depth conversation and you're like, fuck, I really like that person. We get along really well. It's just a fragrance with a lot of depth, and it's really approachable. And even I would also call this an extremely versatile fragrance. If you rock this as your signature scent, I know you got it going on. Amazing, amazing fragrance. All right. Next is going to be a party fragrance, and that is another scent I gave to my other cousin, Versace Eros. Now, I know people have their opinions about that one, but that's mainly because so many, college kids have oversprayed it to a point where it became nauseating, but the scent alone is really nice. It's this mint, apple, vanilla type of fragrance, all right? And the bottle is really cool and it's really fun. It's flirty, it's obnoxious, when you're wearing it at parties and stuff like that. And even on dates, it's just this super sexy fragrance. If you don't want to be seductive, if you're like, no, I want to give somebody a sexy fragrance, then please try Versace Eros, because that thing is just like a rager. It's a loud scent. And on top of that, the performance with Eros that I got with me was easily over 8 hours. And that was actually with the EDT. Now I know that there's been some reformulations that have happened. So I've never tried the Parfum or the EDP concentrations, the recent ones, but my version of the Versace Eros EDT that I got back in 2020 was pushing like no other. It was an amazing scent. So Versace Eros EDT, super solid. Now, just because we're talking about sexy fragrances, this one it's not obnoxious. This, like L'Homme, is something you have to overspray because it stays close to your skin. This is called Nuit de L'Homme by YSL. And this was my first fragrance love. And this was the first fragrance that I ever wore that I was receiving insane type of reactions. Not the typical compliments of, oh, you smell nice. The things where people just, their eyes would go wide and they would just go right into my neck and smell me. I got mouth-watering reactions from women when I wore this scent. This is the fragrance that changed the game for me, where I was like, damn, people are really acting like this, like when they smell this sort of fragrance. Like, it was amazing. It was like all that feral reaction type shit, and I was just blown away. I was like, damn, I didn't know that a fragrance can make people act this way, but this one is just what did it. Oh my God. even till now. This one is a cardamom type of fragrance. If you haven't tried cardamom, it's the best way to say it is that it's a straight up sexy, spicy sort of scent. Okay, yes, it has some sweetness in the dry down with this fragrance, but I honestly find it to be more fresh, or not fresh, more versatile than people give it credit for. But, you know, of course, if you're giving this to somebody, you can also just nudge and say, hey, wear this on date nights, wear this, when you're going on a date or anything like that. And it's a really seductive, welcoming, approachable, but at the same time, just like mouth-watering, jaw-dropping type of fragrance. This still has a hold on the feminine nose. Like ever since 2009 till now, it's just still an absolute banger. So Nuit de L'Homme by YSL. Another one I would recommend just based on price point is Polo Ultra Blue. I don't think I've tried Polo Red, and it's been a while since I've smelled blue, so I can't remember. But Ultra Blue, I remember when I was first testing this fragrance, I randomly got complimented in a grocery store. And this was back in 2020 when, you know, like everybody was wearing like masks in the grocery stores. Everybody was masked up. And then somebody still complimented me on this with my scent trail. They're like, hey, I could smell you. You smell really good. So this scent, like all the other Polos, in my opinion, is just fresh and clean, simple. That's it. It smells good. It's inoffensive. The projection is pretty decent. It kind of smells like your typical shower gel type of cologne. So this isn't anything mind-blowing, but I believe the price on this, like you can find it definitely less than $60, like $50 or something like that, especially on like discount sites, no problem. Yeah. Easy to like, simple type of fragrance. Let me see if there's anything else that I just want to throw into the mix. Ooh, I have to say this one. Spicebomb, the original. I know I talk about the extreme, but Spicebomb original is a very versatile type of fragrance. You can wear it when it's hot outside. You can wear it when it's cold outside because it's still a really powerful type of scent. And like the name implies, it's a spice bomb. It's a fragrance that will punch you in the face. Like it makes its presence known. It's not a soft scent. It is something that is pretty aggressive, but it works really, really well. In fact, I know a lot of people have, if you've heard of a fragrance called Jazz Club by Maison Margiela, tons of people have asked me for my opinion on that one, right? But the reason why I'm not so in love with it is because I remember the day that I smelled it, the worker sprayed Spicebomb first, and I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, this smells good. And then right after that, she handed me Jazz Club, and it just fell flat. I was like, oh man, it just wasn't doing it for me. But Spicebomb has had a hold on me ever since the first time I smelled it, and I totally recommend it. On top of that, the bottle is sick. Now, of course, this isn't the original bottle. This is the extreme bottle, but it's the same design where it's like a grenade. You know, so imagine the person you're giving it to opening up their gift and seeing a bottle that looks like this. They're gonna be like, oh, fuck yeah. You know, it's just super cool. And look how you open it. You just pull that like an actual grenade. You spray it, you put the clip back on, and you're good to go. Just like, don't bring this like to the airport and stuff like that, you know. But other than that, those are the first ones that really come to my mind, and they're just such solid fragrances. I hope this helped anybody out. I know that graduation is going to be coming around the corner. I know that there's birthdays that are always going on every single day. So I hope this was helpful. Again, the discount site links are going to be in the description. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.